Kennedy, what do you think it takes to own a restaurant?
I think it takes passion and a determination, and you have to love food to make food. And you also have to have faith to trust the plan.
Bella, what do you think it takes to own a restaurant?
Well, first it takes money, and then it takes food, and then you have to have plates, and you gotta have napkins, and then you gotta have cups, and bowls, and like silverware and stuff.
Julia, what do you think it takes to own a restaurant?
I think it takes determination, hard work, and trust, and money, like to run a restaurant, to buy all the food.
What do you think it takes to own a restaurant?
Well, it takes leadership skills, and you need employees, and a property to have a restaurant, and a supplier.
What do you think it takes to run a restaurant?
A restaurant is 24/7. There is no off days, I'm sure. Because if you're not running the right day-to-day operations, you're planning, you're working with your suppliers, customer base. So I know it's when you open up your own business, like a restaurant, it's consuming you, and it has to be a family venture too.
What do you think it takes to own your own restaurant?
Well, just roughly, there's a couple things that you need to do. First being, you need to do some research with a restaurant or any business. You have to figure out a way to basically put a plan together to convince bankers or investors that your plan is good. Secondly, after you know that it's going to take all that work and an awesome plan, you have to have the ability to sell it and commit to it.
Mom, what does it take to own a restaurant?
Well, first and foremost, I think it takes a lot of dedication. It takes love for the business because you're dedicated to it 24/7.
To whether it's a restaurant or anything similar where you're selling products or service to a customer base, you have to understand the demographics. And then after you get all that research done, from the beginning research and convincing a bank and laying it out and setting it into motion, you need to have an overall longer-term plan that's going to reflect those needs. Say, in summary, is you better be willing to spend a lot of hours and a lot of energy to do something independent like this, and thinking that it's a 40-hour week, you're going to fail. You need to set your expectations realistically.
Mom, what's the struggle of raising a family in a small business?
Well, the biggest struggle, of course, was when you were all babies. It was very difficult finding people to take care of you for nights and weekends because everybody always wants to be doing the social aspects of life and going to restaurants and movies and doing vacations and weekends and places. So one of the hardest parts was finding dedicated babysitters that would help take care of you. So you all had to grow up really quick at a certain point in your life and start tending to yourselves. You learned how to make phone calls very early in your life to ask for our help. There's many, but making sure that you had the time that you needed for us to take care of you and try to still get family vacations and have weekend time together and get you active in being a kid, because you were around so many adults here until your siblings were around to help fulfill those needs that I felt you weren't getting when you were just a baby. So that was always very helpful.
What were the struggles of owning your own restaurant?
If you refer back to some of the steps I said about what it takes to have a restaurant or own a business in this area, you had research, a level of commitment, a plan of attack, knowing your demographics.
Of course, the campground helped a little bit in releasing some of those struggles because kids would come and camp, and every year you guys would look forward to the family holiday weekends, because family would come up and stay for the weekend on long holidays, and that was always fun, something really exciting for us to look forward to instead of us going someplace to celebrate and have fun on Memorial Weekend and 4th of July. We always had family that were campers, and they came here to make it special for us here. So that was our struggles.
So a readjustment is good. Analyzing your demographics so that you can focus on what piece of the pie is bringing you your money and your support.
Next, commitment, all part of the same thing, but it takes all of your time and commitment to the business to help make it run properly. I think you need a sense of humor to relieve the stress and the tension that the business causes you to have and the early gray hair that it gives you. But you need to let things roll off your back and have a good sense of humor. And the ability to work with many personalities is also a very good factor in running a business, because you have many personalities in this type of business between your customers and your sales reps in all the areas.
Then going through the fact that you have to change, you have to re-ante up your energy level and your commitment and your hours. Because you basically have to start over and attack it with the energy and the veracity that you did when you were trying to develop the business and get the support you needed. Well, now you have to, like for us, we downsized our alcohol and our attention to the bar, and we started expanding on family and kids and grandkids and quality of food, and it'll adjust for everybody in every circumstance. The struggles that you encounter are the things you couldn't factor in. And some of them you could factor in, but you got to realize that you're probably not as bright as you think you are coming in from the beginning. There's a lot of unknown. Our restaurant owner is, I had to let go of the bar and focus on family restaurant as a way to adjust with the changes.
Struggles of being a daughter to a small family business.
Well, I think the main one would be the hours of the restaurant, because growing up we did spend a lot of our family time during the week, Monday to Friday, but not Friday nights, because that's when the restaurant kind of slowed down. And then the weekends were more of a stay at home and the parents were up at the restaurant working. So that was kind of tough because sometimes we couldn't go to stuff during the weekends. But we did get a lot. It is fun to live out here. We get a lot of more experiences than other kids get to. We grew up kind of fast, but I'm okay with that. We get to grow up around the environment of the restaurant, which I find fun. We get to help up there sometimes, and it just helped me, I think, in growing up.